New York Post. FBI Arctic frost probe targeted nearly 100 GOP groups, including Charlie Kirk's TPUSA. This, of course, was exposed by Senator Grassley in the hearing with Kash Patel earlier. They say an FBI investigation launched in the wake of the 2020 election scrutinized nearly 100 Republican and GOP-aligned groups, including Turning Point USA. Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley published files related to the probe, codenamed Arctic Frost, during a panel hearing, saying the records revealed Arctic Frost was much broader than just an electoral matter, and that the investigation expanded to Republican organizations. Some examples of the groups that Ray's FBI sought to place under political investigation included the Republican National Committee, Republican Attorneys General Association, and Trump political groups, Grassley went on. Let me just make it clear. The argument that, oh no, we can't because Democrats would later, Democrats already did. And we are, let me say this. I think the left wants a civil war in this country because it is the only way they can destroy the Constitution, which basically protects us. It's tattered to shreds. It isn't the only thing that protects us, but that written document makes it very difficult for the left to make dramatic revolutionary change. Were a civil war to happen, they can rewrite whatever they want. So they are intentionally creating circumstances by which this conflict arises. Democrats are more than happy to oblige. They have tried, they arrested Trump several times. They have tried to put him in prison. They are still trying to put him in prison, but it's frozen because Trump is currently president. A left-aligned individual said that Charlie was too hateful to be negotiated with. And so this assassin, allegedly, innocent until proven guilty, but it looks like the evidence they've released so far is pretty damning. This left-aligned individual shot and murdered Charlie Kirk. We are in an untenable circumstance. They are issuing death threats and veiled threats, publishing addresses, trying to get prominent individuals killed. What can we do? We can say, hold on, we are not going to go after them because they've used loopholes in how they speak so that we can't prosecute them. They've used loopholes in how they commit acts of physical violence and vandalism so we can't prosecute them. So we'll sit back and let them do it. And what will you get? The far left will riot, smash, burn, destroy things. And we'll sit back and say, but you can't prosecute because we can't figure out who individually they are. And they'll keep doing it. And if you try to prosecute them under conspiracy, we saw what happened in D.C., they'll sue you and they'll win. That's when we follow the liberal rules, the classical liberal rules, which we believe in, we want to. But unfortunately, as the founding fathers stated, these rules only work for a moral and what did they say? Moral and religious?
Religious.
Virtuous.
Virtuous, was that what it was?
It's religious and moral people to John Adams.
Yes, religious and moral people. That means we create rules and we say, we agree we're trying to live together and we'll abide by these rules. Meanwhile, homie's got aces up his sleeve. And he's like, you got it, buddy. Are you going to keep playing with them? It's a rock and a hard place. You're going to flip the table? Now there's no game for anybody. This is the challenge. The FBI was going after Charlie Kirk's organization, TPUSA. They targeted him. I don't know where we go from here. This is insane. My prediction was going to be that we've already seen the prosecution of prominent liberals. You've got Letitia James being prosecuted, I believe she's got criminal charges for mortgage fraud. Did they actually launch the charges? Adam Schiff now, I believe, is Schiff similarly. Mm-hmm. So this game is expanding. Is there any reason to believe it stops? Honest question. People tell me I'm fear-mongering for asking this question. I am looking at this like a simple math problem. 2 + 2 = what? You're not going to change the answer. So if they try to arrest Donald Trump, it is entirely predictable that Donald Trump's DOJ and others, along with Trump, would then go after these individuals in any way they can. Mortgage fraud, they found a way. They killed Charlie Kirk. What happens next? Trump says, Pam Bondi says, we're going to go after them. Someone asked Trump, but I think those protesters still have their free speeches. I'm not so sure. It's predictable. Two hyperpolarized sides. Neither will back down because both sides want to maintain their moral worldview. And I'll keep it real simple. In what reality will a conservative agree to live in a country that legalizes child sex changes? They're going to say no to that. And I know this is just one granular political issue, but it's an example. There are issues by which conservatives say, I will not abide. And the liberals look at them back and say, neither will I. Then what? That's why some people have been advocating for years now national divorce, which wouldn't solve the problem because if Arizona got split from the rest of the country, or look, Arizona needs water from other places. The Great Lakes have a lot of it. There's food shipped all over this country. There are trade routes that are entwined. And if resources were cut off, including weapons and military, then you are going to get fighting. Imagine what would happen if the Colorado River got dammed upstream from LA because they said, we have no negotiating, no treaties with you. Imagine if these states went to California and said, because there's no longer a federal government overseeing this, we're willing to give you water, but your 13 million people in LA are going to have to tithe to us. War. So I hope and I beg that we are not going to escalate. And I say it every time, maybe this is the time people finally wake up. But take a look at what Mehdi Hassan did. This guy published a list of fake quotes from Charlie Kirk. Mm-hmm. They are out of context, spliced, so that it makes Charlie sound really, really bad. Why? Because he wants to make sure liberals feel okay with the fact that one of them murdered him. So they can say, yes, assassinations are bad, but look how awful this guy was. Mm-hmm. And then liberals go, yeah, assassinations are bad, but he was the devil, right? That's where we're at. What happens next?
Political violence has become an approved and acceptable a part of our political process, such that you're seeing people like Mehdi Hassan after the fact try to tacitly say that it was okay, not explicitly say it, but saying, oh, look at all these terrible quotes he had, or look what he said about Gaza, or look at he'd probably argue that Charlie Kirk supported the genocide, alleged genocide in Gaza, and therefore it's justified in killing him or whatnot. But as we're seeing, the more this become more acceptable, I think there's no reason to see to predict less political violence in our political process. I think it would be naive to think otherwise. I think people are continuing to dehumanize the other political side. People on the left think conservatives simply aren't human. They think that Zionists simply aren't human. We've been seeing violence towards them. And I mean, we've also been seeing it in the reverse. Some people on the right also dehumanize people on the left, such to the degree that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw political violence against them in the future as well. It's also unfortunate that it seems that this violence is effective in their goal. They managed to take out a major figure on the right that will be irreplaceable.
Well, I mean, that's why these condemnations from the left are just useless, because they're saying, okay, it's wrong that Kirk died, but then they add so many qualifiers onto it. So they can signal to their side that, well, I'm still dehumanizing. Don't worry, I'm still saying he's a fascist Nazi, but I have to put this in here for PR reasons that it's wrong that he was killed. So it's even in their condemnations, it's still not turning the temperature down whatsoever. And this is only coming from the left. I mean, if this happened to a left-wing person, the entire right would say this is wrong, full stop, end of story.
Here's one for you. Let's get as personal as I can. In December of last year, I was informed by my legal team that the DOJ had effectively dropped their investigation of the Russian individuals purportedly secretly funding Tenet. It was gone. As quickly as it emerged, they said, nope. And I was telling them, no, I want all this stuff released. They have besmirched my good name. We had nothing to do with anything untoward. And what are you going to do? You can't make the DOJ. Lauren Chen came out recently and issued a statement that it was formally dropped in all capacity in April. To this day, Democrats still lie and say it's true. So let me just make sure this is very clear to everybody. Not only was it formally dropped, and their argument is, yeah, well, Trump's DOJ did it. They stopped investigating and basically called it off in December. And I stated that at the time, and they ignore it. I think it's fair to state that the intention the whole time in targeting Tenet was an October surprise. Yeah. It was intended to smear me, Benny, Dave, and others. Take a look at what Dave's content was. It was America's Funniest Home Videos. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
It got limited traction, no disrespect, but he was making videos where he was watching funny videos online and reacting to them. And they claimed that was Russian propaganda. What is the culture war show? We had a discussion recently on religion and AI. We're doing one on exorcisms and demons, totally unrelated to politics for the most part. It was all lies. They came out and made some wild claims. The DOJ did this, issued a press release. Now, I just heard recently that Kash Patel issuing these statements was unprecedented regarding these assassination. There was an article written by some liberal Democrat guy saying that it is a former FBI said it is unheard of for the head of the FBI to come out and make statements like this. Merrick Garland did. He gave a press conference where he talked about this. How weird. How often does he do that? How often does he issue these press conferences? He doesn't. Never did. And then, right after the election, they told my legal team there was no investigation. The case was basically over. What was the point of it in the first place? Two people no one ever heard of that we can't confirm exist in a faraway country did something we can't prove. They never published any evidence, but the Democrats act like it's true. I think it's political. I think what the FBI is doing political. I think it's fascinating when I say it is civil strife, political civil war, cold civil war, or whatever. People are like laughable. And then you look at what they're doing. The FBI went after Turning Point. Charlie Kirk is dead now. I think it's broader than people realize, and I think people should have realized the moment they put Trump in cuffs. I mean it figuratively. They gave him the moment they took his mugshot. Trump's at the top. Mm-hmm. If they're going to go for the king, imagine what they're going to do they're going to try to do to everybody else.
Yep, he wasn't kidding when he said they're coming after you. I'm just in the way.
100%.
The truest thing he ever said.
Well, I mean, look, the whatever Arctic frost or whatever that proves it.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that the FBI was investigating parents for going to PTA meetings and saying that they didn't like the curriculum. That proves it.
And
this isn't some kind of theory or hypothetical. Like the federal government has been used against conservatives ever since 2012 with the IRS scandal with Lois Lerner.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.